So how do you know if you have a rare blue seal dollar bill? In this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know to make sure you aren't missing any rare $1 blue seal silver certificate notes that are worth potentially thousands of dollars. Welcome back to Old Money Prices. If this is your first time here and you want to learn more about rare coins and paper money, start now by subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. Let's jump right into the video. Up first, we have a 1928A silver certificate graded by PMG, a superb gem uncirculated 67 EPQ. So if you have a 1928A blue seal silver certificate that doesn't have any folds, it's very high grade and it looks amazing, it may be worth sending off to get graded because this high graded example sold for $420. Here we have a 1957 silver certificate graded by PMG, an uncirculated 66 EPQ with a low serial number 68. So if you go ahead and you look at the serial number on the bill, you can tell that the serial number is low. Now remember, a serial number 1 through 9 is going to be extremely rare and definitely valuable. So if you have one of those, keep a lookout for those because they can be worth a lot of money. It's important to know that the 1957 silver certificate, the 1957 date, they are typically not as rare, not as valuable, but because this one graded as uncirculated by PMG and it has a low serial number, this $1 bill that would typically be worth only a few dollars, even with the blue seal, sold for $141. So here's a great example. So this group of notes, there were 13 notes, and these are star notes, meaning that they're replacement notes. Typically, star notes are more valuable, but these 1957 silver certificates, the 13 notes, sold for $35. So as you can tell, some of these notes aren't going to be worth as much money, but make sure you stay until the end of this video because there's a note that looks just like one of these that sold for $100,000, so stay until the end. Here we have a group of 5 different types of silver certificates. This is again to give you an example of what these notes are typically worth if you don't know what you're looking for. This group of 5 notes sold for $51, which is about $10 per note, which is decent, but it just goes to show that not every blue seal dollar bill is going to be valuable. Again, here we have a 1957B silver certificate graded by PMG, a 66 EPQ, and because it's a common date of 1957, even in the high grades, this one sold for only $34. Here are 2 examples of star notes. This is a 1935E and a 1935F. Now you can see what series they are by looking right under the seal. You can tell which ones they are. These 2 notes sold for $28, so $14 each, which is still decent if you consider that it's a dollar bill. And honestly, they're kind of cool. I tend to keep 1 or 2 in my pocket just to show people. So this is when we start to get into the very valuable blue seal bills. So definitely pay attention here. So compared to the other notes I just showed you, you may look at this one and be like, oh, that looks gross because it has a big stain on it and it probably is not worth a lot of money, but that is the farthest thing from the truth. So if you have a 1928D silver certificate, this is the rare date. And combine that with the fact that it's a replacement note, there's not that many of these out there. And even though PMG graded this a 10 VG net with a stained comment, this one still brought a lot of money. So again, keep an eye out for the 1928D because this one, in a low grade, sold for $1,500. Now, typically, like I said before, these notes are going to be worth anywhere from $1 to $5, sometimes $10. But if you come across a rare 1928D, these are going to be worth a lot of money. And we definitely are buyers for this 1928D silver certificate. This is a huge note here. This is a 1928E silver certificate graded by PMG and almost uncirculated 58 EPQ. EPQ meaning exceptional paper quality. As you can see on the back there, PMG also gave this a positive comment of great embossing, which is just one more reason why this note is going to be worth more money. So condition of these notes is extremely important. If you compare this note to the last one, these have similar rarities of how many were produced and how many still exist in circulation. Guys, this note sold for $30,000. $30,000. And the only difference here is the fact of the date and the condition. You saw the other coins that were 1957 star notes. They sold for about $10 to $15 each, but this 1928E sold for $30,000. So definitely keep an eye out for these rare dated star notes that have the blue seal. So these are not star notes, but this trio of blue seal notes sold for an incredible amount of money. This is a set of 1934 choice crisp uncirculated notes, meaning there is not a single fold on them. And as you can see, this is a transitional serial number. So it went from a solid 9 serial number and it transitioned over to a 100 million serial number. These notes were back to back. The solid 9s and the 100 million, they all came in the same group, and then combine that with the next note, which is a serial number 1, which is arguably the most rare serial number you can get. And you can see that it transitioned from a BA serial number to a CA. That happens once you get to the highest point in the serial number range. It transitions, it changes the first letter of the serial number, and it goes over to the next letter in the alphabet. And that's exactly what's happening here. And this trio of notes sold for $46,000. So this is an absolute find. If you find anything like this, you need to contact a paper money expert and make sure that you get all the money that you deserve. All right, here is this note. So this is a 1928D silver certificate star note graded by PMG, a gem uncirculated, 66 EPQ. Remember EPQ meaning exceptional paper quality, and also remember the highest grade you can achieve is 70, which is incredibly hard to get. So if you have a blue seal note and it has the 1928D series on it, it's going to be worth a lot of money. And then if it has a star on it, it's going to be worth even more money. This note sold for $100,000. I cannot believe how much money this note brought, but that just goes to show how rare these notes really can be. So make sure that if you're going through an old collection or you come across any notes from a family member, that you're looking out for these 1928D star notes that are in good condition, because they can be worth thousands, tens of thousands, or hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on the condition.